of mass. The center of mass कौन हला? This is the point where whole mass of the body is said to be concentrated. है ना? पूरा entire गोटे point रे the mass of the body is said to be concentrated. The motion of this point gives about the motion of this whole body. Clear? Now I have to find out position of center of mass. Let's see that two particle I am taking and I have to find out I have to find out the position of center of mass. Let's see this. So this is what x-axis, y-axis. This is what x-axis. Now two bodies are there. I have to find out their position of center of mass. Suppose one body is here. One body is here. This is the first body. First body is here and second body is here. I have to find out their position of center of mass. First body is here. First body is here. This is the first body and this is what second body. This is what m1 and this is what m2. Their position vectors are r1 and another position vector is r2. I have to find out the position of center of mass between them. So what is that? What is the position of center of mass between them? The position of center of mass will be what? The line joining them, that will be on the line joining them. Let this point is the position of center of mass. Which point? Let this point is the position of center of mass. This position, this point. P is the position of center of mass. I have to determine. Therefore, the position of center of mass will be like this here, RCOM. This is what the position of center of mass. I have to find out. This is what the position of center of mass I have to find out. Position of center of mass. Understand this? This one is question mark. I have to find out position of center of
Yes, sir.
mass. Okay, write down. Write down. If what is that? M1 is bigger, the position of center of mass lies nearer M1. If M2 is bigger, position of center of mass will lie nearer what M2. If both are equal, then position of center of mass will be exactly at the middle. Understand this? Exactly at the midpoint of M1 and M2. Clear about
Yes,
this?
sir.
Likho. Let this is a system. The system consists of two particles. The system consists of two particles M1 and M2 whose what center of mass is to be determined. Let on the system two forces are given. On the system two forces are given F1 and F2. What are the two forces here? Let's see. Two forces just I am giving this to this system. First force is F1. First force is what? F1 along this one. This is what my first force and second force is F2. This is what second force. Two forces I am giving to this system. What? First force is F1 and second force is F2. F1 is acting on M1 and F2 is acting on M2. So on this system, what is the total force? Total force is F1 and F2. On the system consists of two bodies, M1 and M2. These two systems consist of two bodies, M1 and M2. And what?
Yes.
On M1, F1 force is acting, and on M2, F2 force is acting. Clear? So on this system, total force is how much? F1 plus F2. On this system, the total force is what? F1 plus F2. Draw the diagram.
I,
Draw the diagram. Draw the diagram. Ekdam neat and clean. Try to understand this. Any doubt? You can ask. Ball se pocharo. Doubt. Any doubt? Ask me immediately. Clear? Have you done this? Likho. Let F1 and F2, F1 and F2 are the two forces applied on the system. Then net force F is equal, then net force F is equal F1 plus F2. We know force is the rate of change of momentum from Newton's second law of motion. from Newton's second law of motion. Force is what? The rate of change of momentum. Is it clear? Newton's second law of motion is there. Newton's second law of motion कौन? The rate of
Sir,
change
the
of
rate of
momentum is
change of
directly
momentum
proportional to the external
proportional to
force
the
and takes
force
place along the direction of it. Means
direction.
if yes yes
Sir, जो डाकिले जो applied in the system पर
the net force is write down. Let F is the net force or then net force is given by F is equal F1 plus F2. So F1 is what? What is F1? What is F1? F1 is dP1 by dt, rate of change of momentum. Similarly, F2 is what? dP2 by dt, the rate of change of momentum of second one. What is the momentum formula? Tell me. Momentum formula is what? What is the formula of
sir,
momentum? Tell me.
mass into velocity.
Mass into velocity. Yes, write down. D by dt of P1 is m1 into v1. Similarly, d by dt of P2 is your m2 into v2. Now m1 constant, take it out, write down first. M1 constant, take it out. So what will get? F equal to M1 constant, take it out. D by dt of V1. M2 constant, take it out. D by dt of V2. Understand this? Now, m1 into d by dt. Velocity is what? The rate of change of displacement. v1 is what? dr1 by dt. Velocity is what? Rate of change of displacement dr1 by dt. That is what velocity. Is that clear? Now, velocity is what? This velocity is what? This velocity is what? d by dt of r1. This is what the velocity. Understand this? The velocity is or what? v1 is what? D by dt of r1. Is that clear? I understand this. D by dt, d by
Again,
dt I have written. v1 is d by dt of r1. Is that clear?
again, sir.
Similarly, what is
Yes,
that? m2 into d by dt. v2 is what? v2 is a d by dt of what is that? r2. Now I can write here m1 into d square by dt square. D square means what? Double derivative of displacement. D square means what? Double derivative. D square by dt square. That is what? R2. Understand this? Now if you are taking d square, you see d square by dt square. This is what? M1 R1, M1 constant. You can take M1 into this one. And d square by dt square. This is what? M2 into what is that? R2. Understand this? Understand this?
again, sir.
Okay, look here the left hand side. Look here left hand side. Don't write anything. Look here left hand side. F net force is acting on whom? The two particle system m1 plus m2. Net force is acting. This is what? m1 plus m2 into acceleration. Acceleration of whom? F equal to ma na. F equal to ma. Mass
Again,
is what? m1 plus m2.
again,
Because this
again.
force is acting on the two particle. The total force F1 plus F2 is acting on the two particle system. Therefore, net mass is m1 plus m2. Acceleration of these two particle. Acceleration of these two particle is same as acceleration of center of mass. Acceleration of the two particle. Acceleration of these two particle is same as what? Acceleration of center of mass. Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this? दीटा particular
Ag-
acceleration जहाँ वो center of mass भी acceleration से आबो
Again,
entire
sir.
pen रो acceleration is जहाँ वो गोटे center of mass भी acceleration से आबो हबो नहीं.
Again, sir.
Therefore, I can write here F equal to mass into acceleration. Acceleration of whom? Acceleration of center of mass. Any doubt? Any doubt?
No, sir.
No. Now acceleration is what? Double derivative of displacement. Acceleration is double derivative of displacement. D square by dt square. That is what? Position of center of mass. Do you agree with this? अरे first
I gi-
derivative of
I
display
gi-
first derivative of displacement gives about velocity. Second derivative of velocity, again derivative of velocity gives about what? Acceleration. अरे first derivative of displacement gives about velocity. Then again if you derive that velocity, take the derivative of velocity, you're getting acceleration. Is that clear or not? That means double
yes,
derivative
sir.
of displacement always gives about acceleration. Do you agree with this? Do you agree with
Again,
this?
sir. Again, sir.
Eh? Double derivative of displacement gives about acceleration. Therefore, double derivative of displacement, RCM is the displacement that gives about acceleration. Acceleration is the double derivative of what? RCM. Understand this? Now write down. Write down everything. लिखो देखो a2 d square by dt square, if you'll take out common, you're going to get m1 r1 plus what is that? M2 r2. And in left hand side you are getting m1 plus m2 into double derivative of position of center of mass with respect to time. With respect to time. लिखो now write down d square by dt square into RCM is how much? Let's see. D square by dt square of position of center of mass will be d square by dt square into m1 r1 plus m2 r2 whole divided by m1 plus m2. M1 plus m2 is a constant. You can take into this word bracket. So what will get? D square by dt square, that is what? RCM is equal d square by dt square. What will get? M1 r1 plus m2 r2 divided by m1 plus m2. Array, this is constant. M1 plus m2 is a constant. So it can move into this one. Is it clear? So d square by dt square, d square by dt square getting cancels out. So position of center of mass will be how much? M1 r1 plus m2 r2 divided by m1 plus m2. M1 plus m2. This is what? The position of center of mass. Very, very important one. Very, very important one. You see, I've started from here.
नहीं sir, लेकिन
So
लिखिए
position of
हाँ
center
सर
of
पेज
mass here
लिखिएगा
is nothing but m1 r1 plus m2 r2 divided by m1 plus m2. Position of center of mass is m1 r1 plus m2 r2 divided by m1 plus m2. That is the position of center of mass what I am getting. This is the position of center of mass formula for two particle system. लिखो. Are you completed? Hello. Are you completed? लिख समझते? Hello. Okay. Now write down position of center of mass for n particle system. Write down position of center of mass, position of center of mass for n particle system. N particle system. N particle system. What is the position of center of mass for n particle system? That is what? M1 R1 plus M2 R2 dotted is what? Mn Rn divided by what is that? M1 plus M2 dotted is what? Mn. That is for what? N number of particle systems are there like this. This is the position of center of mass. I can just take this center of mass by coordinate system, by using coordinate geometry. By coordinate geometry, easily I can find out the position of center of mass. How? Center of mass in coordinate system. Write down. Center of mass, center of mass in coordinate system. Center of mass in coordinate system. How you are getting center of mass in coordinate system? Let's see this. Center of mass along x coordinate. X coordinate will be m1 x1 plus m2 x2 dotted is what? Mn xn divided by what is that? M1 plus m2 dotted is mn. This is what along x coordinate. Similarly, I can find out in y coordinate. Similarly, I can find out in y coordinate position of center of mass along y coordinate is what? M1 y1 plus M2 y2 dotted is your Mn yn divided by what you're getting? M1 plus M2 dotted is Mn. This is what? In y coordinate. And z coordinate also you can calculate. Look out. Similarly, along z coordinate, position of center of mass along z coordinate, find out in z coordinate position of center of mass along z axis. Z axis, this is what? M1 z1 plus M2 z2 z2 dotted is what? Mn zn divided by what is that? Mn plus M1 plus M2 dotted is Mn. So this is what along coordinate system. Position of center of mass along coordinate system or in coordinate system. Position of center of mass in coordinate system in x coordinate, y coordinate and z coordinate. I can find out. If mass is removed from the system, the formula will be minus. Suppose M2 is removed, means you have to write minus M2. If M3 is removed, so you have to write minus M3. If M1 is removed, then you have to write minus M1. Remove means what? Always negative. We'll discuss later on. Clear? So write down first. Position of center of mass along x, y and z coordinate is like this. Question. Question is what? If two bodies having mass 4 kg and 10 kg, two bodies having mass 4 kg and 10 kg separated by 10 meter from each other, then find out their position of center of mass. Then find out their position of center of mass. Then find out their position of center of mass. How to do? Look here. Two bodies are there. Two bodies are there. How to do? Let's see this. Two bodies are there. They are at a distance of 10 meter. Distance of 10 meter. One body is here. One body is here. Another body is here. 10-meter distance is there. And I have to find out their position of center of mass. One is 4 kg, another is 10 kg. So I have to convert into coordinate systems. I have to convert it into coordinate systems. You see, this is what x coordinate, x axis, and this is what y axis. Coordinate system. First you have to convert. So what you have to then what you have to do? You have to write the coordinates. So this is origin. Coordinate is what? 0, 0. And this is what? What is the coordinate of this point? The coordinate of this point is 10, 0. So x1 is 0,
Again, sir.
y1 is 0, x2 is 10, y2 is 0. Clear? Now I have to find out position of center of mass. Position of center of mass is both the coordinates are there. Therefore I have to write m1 x1 plus m2 x2 divided by m1 plus m2. Just section formula of your coordinate geometry. You have to put section formula of your coordinate geometry. And similarly I can find out m1 y1 plus m2 y2 divided by m1 plus m2. Is it clear or not? This is what the position of
Again,
center of mass. And we know that center of mass will lie nearer the bigger mass. Let's see whether you are getting or not. Put the formula. M1 is 4 kg, x1 is 0, m2 is 10 kg, x2 is 10. M1 is 4 kg, m2 is 10. M1 is 4 kg, y1 is 0, m2 is 10 kg, y2 is 0 divided by m1 plus m2. Now the position of center of mass will be what? 100 by 14 and 0. 100 by 14 means what?
Seven,
7.1.
7.1.
7
7.10,
again
that
sir.
means meter. You see, 7.1 from here. 7.1 from here means it lies near the bigger mass. Prove gala. Center of mass lies near the
Again sir.
bigger mass. Means center of mass will be here. Center of mass will be here. Center of mass will be here. It is at a distance 7.1 meter from this 4 kg mass, and the remaining distance 2.9 from this 10 kg mass. So this proves that center of mass always lies near the bigger mass. Are you understand this? Are you understand this formula?
Again sir.
समस्ते बुझी पारलो? लेखो लेखो
Again
next
sir.
class रे गुडे problem करिए.